Welcome to the Ho-Ho Show.
Rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airwaves and strap in as we
defend the Constitution, because freedom matters.
We are broadcasting live from the Kata Studio, so welcome to the Ho-Ho Show. And as always, I'm your host, Ho-Ho. How y'all's doing? I hope you're doing good. I really do. So, man, we've got some stuff to talk about. Holy crap. You know, I normally start the show. And, I've been doing this as of recently. You know, normally I start the show with some, lighthearted, satire stuff that generally comes from the Babylon Bee. But here recently, it's just been diving right into the good stuff. That's pretty much what we've been doing here. I don't know. Maybe I need to change a couple things and get back to the satire starting off point stuff because it's fun for me. But we are just diving into it. And hello, Machine Radio Show. He said, made a meme. You made a meme. You made a meme. Dude, you got to send me that meme. He says, I'm sending it to you on the phone. Okay, let me go ahead and look. Ready, set, roll. Well, hello, Red Dirt Redemption over there in YouTube land. Good to see you. All right. Now, where are you sending me this meme? I'm assuming you're sending it to me in Facebook. Hey, I just got it. There you go. Okay, I just got it. Never mind. I was asking. All right. I like it. Very nice. All right, so we're diving into this. And was this a topic? And hello, Brian, over there in YouTube land. He says, greetings, infidels. Yes, I am an infidel. And hello, Dave, over there in YouTube says, good evening. Glad I was able to catch this from the start. Yes, me too. Good to see you. So, like I said, we're just going to dive right on into this because, this is just beyond ridiculous. It really is. And, this is something that I know Brandon and I discussed. I don't remember if we actually discussed this on the show, per se, because I was on the Machine Radio Show on Thursday, and I got it. I'm getting old. I'm starting to, show my age, but I've been forgetful for a while. It's some timers, I got that. And I don't remember if this is something that we discussed on the Machine Radio Show on Thursday, but I know this is something that Brandon and I did at least discuss. And you can check out the Machine Radio Show Thursday night, 7 p.m. on Spreaker and YouTube and the Facebooks and all kinds of other places. But anyway, like I said, we're diving into it. So this headline from Newsbusters, headline, courageous Biden correctly calls the GOP semi-fascists. Yeah, semi-fascists. And this headline from Fox News, Katie Pavlich, whatever, Biden can't claim to be, and you know what, it doesn't matter. Biden can't claim to be interested in unity while also calling half the country semi-fascist. That's kind of obvious, because here's the thing. When Biden was campaigning, okay, he was claiming to be, the unifier. That's what he was claiming to be at the onset of this whole entire thing. I'm going to be the one that brings the country back together without the divisiveness that we have known under former President Trump. And then he goes out and he does these kind of things. He calls us fascists and all this other kind of stuff. And this is coming from people that apparently have never opened up a history book, have never studied politics, and doesn't know, in short, anything about fascism, communism, anything like that. It's pretty obvious. They've never read anything, okay? So first, let me go into this here Wikipedia page on fascism. Dave says, he goes, amazing he claimed to be a unifier when he's always been a racist and a liar. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's amazing how they can just claim to be one thing while obviously demonstrating that they are another. And Brandon puts in here of the Machine Radio Show, he goes, it is not the opposition exhibiting fascist behavior. We aren't trying to kill a third of the amendments in the guise of big government safely. See, here's the thing. On Wikipedia, I was looking this up, okay? Fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, ultra-nationalistic political ideology and movement. See, now, first off, let me clarify something. You see, this wasn't written by an American or even written to Americans. Wikipedia is actually authored from across the pond, okay, over in the Europes. And over in Europe, well, they do things kind of different. They drive in the wrong side of the car on the wrong side of the road. Over there, big, centralized, powerful government is on the right side of the political spectrum. And on the left side of the political spectrum is more centralized, more localized, and a smaller centralized government. Over here, it's backwards. Okay? Over here, that is reversed. So whenever you hear things that are on the political right over in Europe, mind you, they're talking about liberal, not conservative. Okay? On the spectrum, you have one party that is more interested in complete government centralized dominance. That's communism, fascism, things of that nature. And then the political right on this far end of the spectrum is complete and utter anarchy. Over here, we call that on the right. Over there, they call that on the left. That's the difference in how they view things, not just politically, but driving on the road. That's how they do that. And so, it's not fascism, because fascism is about controlling people through the heavy hand of government. Which political party over here wants to control each and every aspect of your life through force of the government? Well, it's not the Republicans. It's the Democrats. Let's continue a little bit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Fascism by word, Nick. Never even heard of this one. But, fascism, a noun, system of government, marked by centralization of authority under a dictator, a capitalist economy subject to stringent government controls, violent suppression of the opposition, and typically a policy of belligerent nationalism and racism. Who exhibits that kind of stuff? Is it Republicans or is it Democrats? Democrats. Because, okay, look. Let me explain something here. Because I disagree with that definition. Because they're saying a capitalist economy. It's not exactly capitalism if it is completely 100% controlled by government. That's not capitalism. You can't call what they have over in China capitalism whenever everything is controlled by the Communist Chinese Party. It's not fascism, it's not capitalism. It's whenever it's being controlled by a government entity, it can't be called capitalism because capitalism works different than government controlled and government run. Because, we over here, there's a few different areas where, I've never seen in my lifetime free market capitalism. Healthcare being one of them. I've never seen in my lifetime a healthcare system that operated free market capitalism. There has always been aspects and very significant aspects of healthcare that has always been controlled completely by the government. So you can't, say that, what's wrong with the hospitals and the pricings of medication is all in the hands of free market capitalism. It's like, dude, prove it. We've never seen free market capitalism, not in my lifetime, here in America. It's all been controlled, red tape, this, that, or the other, controlled by government. That's not free market capitalism. So that's why it's not capitalism if it's government controlled. Because even if, it's like you can only sell this, but you have, I'll give the production and everything else to these people, but they have to follow our rules. And if they don't play by our rules, then we're going to take them out of existence, whether it be taxation, whether it be attacking them with the IRS and auditing them and shutting them down completely that way. Because, that's weaponizing the government in order to pick winners and losers. That's not free market capitalism either. That's fascism. Hello. I'm kind of scared. Brandon wants me to play the video that he just posted on his Facebook. You posted a video on the Facebook. Is this about the whole, what we're talking about with the whole fascism thing? I'm like I said, dude, I'm kind of scared to play that because I know you, man. We went to different schools together. Actually, we went to the same school, but I don't exactly remember you in school. So I'm scared. I don't know if I want to play that. Continue. This headline from he says, seriously, do it. I don't know, man. Let me look. Let me look it up. Let me look. All right, so you said it's on your Facebook. So let me go into Facebook. Is it on your Facebook? I'm saying it's on your Facebook. We'll go with that. I'm looking for it. Give me uno momento, por favor. I maybe want to play some music. Here we go. Playing some music. That didn't work. There we go. Oh, it's about him in a speech. Okay. That sounds more. So it's in your Facebook, I'm assuming. This is horrible. Where's the search at? There it is. Search. So is it in? Oh, hey, here we go. Machine Radio Show. We are live. That's not it. That's not it. You send it to me. All right, send it to me. When you do, Because I'm not seeing here. I got posts. Wait, hold on. Here's videos. Oh, second post in. This is horrible. The live thing, I'm not playing the entire video. Oh, your personal one? Yeah. Jackhole. Send it to me and then I'll consider playing it. I'm done searching. I got to show it. All right, anyway. This headline from LGBTQ, yeah, that is all of them, Nation. Are MAGA Republicans semi-fascists or full-on fascists? See, I read this and I had to laugh because I read into this a little bit. And it starts off with, at a recent Democratic fundraiser in advance of the upcoming midterm elections, President Joe Biden blasted the so-called Make America Great Again philosophy, arguing that it is like semi-fascism. There is plenty of evidence to prove his point. Oh, so you're saying never mind. I'll cover it at the end of this, if I see it. This extreme segment of the Republican Party is attempting to improve severe restrictions on what can and cannot be taught in public schools by permitting only topics, curricular materials, that's what this says, and subjects aligning with its political philosophies. It has imposed constraints on certain individuals and groups, voting rights, access to the ballot box, and has gone after volunteer and salaried, nonpartisan election officials. I'm going to stop right there. Because there is so much wrong with that first stinking paragraph. Second stinking paragraph. It's not even funny. Segments of the Republican Party attempting to impose severe restrictions on what can and cannot be taught in public schools. Let me stop right there. Because, listen, there is a difference between teaching and indoctrination. You see, it is the purpose of a math teacher. Red Dirt Redemption says that paragraph is full of holes. You root, toot, and Skippy. But the purpose of a math teacher in math class is to teach math. It is the purpose of a history teacher in history class to teach history. You have science, technology, engineering, and math, and in those classes, it's the job of the teacher to teach that, okay? It is not the job of the teacher to teach about sexuality. That's not the purpose of the math teacher in math class. That's not their job. That's not what they're supposed to be doing. And we're not even saying don't teach that. We're saying don't teach this to K through fourth graders. Don't do that. Because when it comes to that kind of stuff, it's simple. Keep the main thing the main thing. And I started off with math for simply this, okay? Here's a huge difference. See, whenever I was in school, okay, now granted, the Department of Education was started back in 1978, but I was still going through school in whether it be a time frame or whether it be, just because of the school that I went to, but it was still being taught how to think, not so much what to think. You see the difference? You see, in math, it's pretty simple. You have this right here. Besides a finger, or that one thing, like City Slickers, excellent movie, by the way. This is the physical representation of the number 1. This right here is a physical representation of the number 1. You put them together, you got 2. Holy crap. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Physical representation of the number 2. I word it like that for a reason. Physical representation of the number 2. That's math. 1 plus 1 equals 2. It doesn't matter if it's daytime. It doesn't matter if it's nighttime. It doesn't matter if you're having a good day. It doesn't matter if you're having a bad day. It doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, or otherwise, or 100 different flavors, a handful of different flavors in between. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter if you're not smart enough to put those two together and come up with the correct answer. It doesn't matter. 1 plus 1 equals 2. It will forever equal 2. It doesn't matter how scientific your calculator is. 1 plus 1 equals 2. The machine puts in here and goes, I made a physical representation of the number 2 earlier. Oh yeah, who did number 2 work for? Dave puts in here, he goes, I've never had a relationship with a teacher beyond the scope of the subject of the class. And that's exactly as it should be. And that's what Republicans believe, that it should stay that way forever and always, because that's the job of the teacher, to teach the class at hand. Dave continues to put in here, he goes, if I had a teacher that had something to offer beyond the scope of the subject of the class, it would be up to me to ask and find out whatever it was I wanted to know. I never ever expected a teacher to share everything personal with me at all, ever. And you know, that's still a thing, you know, because it's like, you know, I understand what you're saying by there, and I'm sure that we are in complete agreement on that, but there comes to certain things like sexuality that a teacher should not be discussing openly in class, because these are things that are under the purview of the parents to talk to their children about. Hence, what the entire debate was over that subject of the Don't Say Gay bill, which in all honesty had nothing to do with Don't Say Gay. It was the Parents' Rights Bill. That's what it was. It was misperceived, but that's what it was. It was all about the rights of the parents, and that's it. Red Dirt Redemption says, I mean, in Taylorville, I'm pretty sure that I can't even pronounce that, never had us draw sexual orientations in art class, and I took all 4 years. Yeah, I had art. I never had to do that kind of stuff. I never had to make sculptures or make, you know, clay pottery and doing that kind of stuff. I never had to do any of that. Or anything wonky in home ec either. Yeah, and we learned sewing and baking. Cooking in home ec, you know, and yeah, Dave said he's in total agreement. And I figured you was, you know, I figured you knew where I was coming from on that. Okay. So that's first right there. The job of the teacher is to educate, not indoctrinate. Because if you're teaching anything other than 1 plus 1 equals 2, that's indoctrination. If you're trying to teach that 1 plus 1 equals 3 because you got 1 and 1, you put that together, that's 2, but then you have one problem, well, that's 3. And then you got, you know, on one day of the week, well, now you've got 4. And you got, oh, well, this added that in there, and now you got 5. And you just keep on going. And all of that crap is subjective. It's not objective. Kind of about talking genders as it is anyway, because gender is objective. Sexuality is subjective, but gender is objective. That's a pretty simple concept. I don't care if you're gay, straight, whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care what flavor of gay you are. Doesn't matter. That's sexuality. Your own sexuality is subjective. But your gender is objective, meaning it doesn't matter how you feel about it. It is what it is. And holy cow. Oh my God, that's awesome. Never mind. I'm not even getting into that. I'm not even, nope, just y'all's having a conversation. It's funny. I'll give you that. But nope, we're not reading that stuff. Y'all can just continue having fun over there. Holy cow, that's awesome. That's fun. And that's funny, but again, hey, to your point, what you do on your own time, that's cool. But to be taught to do that kind of stuff, that's by your teacher, totally different. Red Dirt says, flavor of gay you are reminds me of Skittles. Exactly. To taste a rainbow? No, we're not. Continuing into this. All right, so a difference between subjective learning, objective learning, a difference between education and indoctrination. I think we have all that stuff, pretty well ironed out. Let's continue. Let's see. Okay, continuing on. Here we go. This, next sentence or whatever. It has imposed constraints on certain individuals and groups' voting rights, access to the ballot box, and has gone after volunteer and salaried, nonpartisan elected officials. Let me just go ahead and start off with that right there, because here's the problem. All right. As has been demonstrated, if you actually cared to pay attention and watch the news, which some people have not. There was they wanted to call some of these people nonpartisan elected officials. That's a crock of Bravo Sierra, and they all know it. Because they purposefully and intentionally pushed Republicans out while they were doing a lot of things. Oh, we're going to shut things down because of a gas leak. And all of a sudden, they didn't stop counting. All of a sudden, the numbers moved a huge amount, but yet it was all done by part. It was all not, nonpartisan elected officials. That's false. We know it. We're not trying to keep people from voting. We want every legal citizen to vote. In the district they are supposed to vote in. That means if you're not a legal citizen, you have no right to, because that is, that's unconstitutional. That's illegal, because you are having an outside government, whether it be an individual or whether it be a representative of another country, swaying the results of an election. That's wrong. That's illegal. So we don't want that. And also, we want you to be voting, one person, one vote in the district where you live. We don't want you to be going over across state lines and voting in somebody else's election and your own. That's multiple votes. That's illegal. That's fraud. We don't want there to be fraud. We want you to vote. We want you to be heard. But we don't want you to do that at the sake of our voice not being heard, because whenever you go out there and you just make all kinds of votes, is what you're doing is eliminating somebody else's vote. That's not right. That's illegal. That's voter fraud. Yes. I don't understand what's so hard about that. I don't understand what people don't quite understand about that. Why they want to say that, oh, we're trying to keep people from voting. No, we're not. We're trying to keep you from voting multiple times. But that's not the same as saying that we're trying to keep you from voting, because that's not true. Oh, well, they want you to have, they want you to have voter ID. The hell's wrong with voter ID? I thought that was a good thing. I mean, you got to have an ID to do all kinds of other crap in this nation. Why not vote? Oh, and just so you know, I'm not going to say 100% of the places where voter ID is required to vote, where ID is required to vote. I'm not going to say that 100% of them will provide an ID for the sake of voting for free, but the majority of them are. You go to Tennessee, which I think they have, they require voter ID. Guess what? You can get an ID card from the state for free. They pay for it, so that this way you can exercise not your right to vote, because you do not have a constitutional right to vote. Let's make that one clear. But what you do have is a constitutional right not to be discriminated against in the voting process. As in, a white person can vote, but a black person can't. That's discrimination. That's illegal. If you're going to open up polling to vote, then you have to open up polling to vote for all people within a time frame. Well, that's not discrimination, is it? No, it's not, because it doesn't have anything to do with race. Red Dirt puts in here, he goes, just don't vote your dead. Just don't vote your dead twice. Remove the Uncle Fred. Okay, exactly. Because I know my dad was a Republican right up until the day he died. And then he became Democrat, magically speaking. It's amazing. I'm like, Dad, why are you voting Democrat? He goes, dude, I'm dead. I'm like, crap, I forgot. What the hell? Anyway, yeah. Continuing on. The party continues to demonize black and brown potential immigrants by citing the Great Replacement theory. Wait a second. No. We're not demonizing people coming over here. We're going, hey, look, there's an issue here, because I have an article, and I'll bring it up a little bit later in the show, but I got an article, all right? And it talks about the amount of people that have flooded across the border, unchecked by this administration since inauguration, is equal to and more than the population of, what was that, Australia? Let me see. I know it's in here. I've seen it. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. It's in here. It is. Nope, that's not it. Oh, I'm getting close. I don't see it. I know it's in there. Where the heck did it go? Well, I'll find it later. It's in here. I know it's in here. I've seen it. I'm not seeing it right now, but I know it's in there. And I'll find it at a later time. These are not the drones you're looking for. Yep, I don't see it. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, there's more in there, but you know what? I think that pretty well covers the stuff in here, because, fascism is about government control. It's about using the weight of the government in order to suppress people's voice, to make them afraid to speak out, to demonize people, to squash opposition. What's happening with former President Trump right now? The Department of Justice and the FBI making it to where he can't run again in 2024. Oh, wait, but he did something illegal. Oh, really? Really? Hillary Clinton did something illegal. Nothing was done to her. And before you talk about the, legality of whatever former President Trump may or may not have done, they impeached former President Biden on his way out the door. He was leaving anyway. He was voted out. Why did they impeach him? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because they were terrified of him. They were politically using the process to squash his ability to run in 2024. And they did that in 2020. Using the government to squash opposition, that's fascism. Who's using fascism against a different party? Oh, wait, they are. Huh. Interesting how that works. We're going to take a break. When we return, then we're going to actually get into some of this Trump stuff with, we're getting into that. Don't go nowhere.
You are correct. You are correct. You are correct. You are correct.
Do you love your occasional Mexican dish or your musical fruit? Are you tired of walking by family members and crop dusting them? Well, if this has ever happened to you, might I introduce you to Tampons brand butt plugs. Tampons brand butt plugs is that particular type of butt plug that allows you to walk in public in confidence knowing that you're not going to accidentally crop dust somebody. Tampons brand butt plugs now with the plastic applicator.
Not just for women anymore.
Tampons brand butt plugs. All right, and we're back. Don't forget your Tampon brand butt plugs. You can pick them up wherever that stuff is at. It's fun. Anyway. Well, heck yes, you can. Josh goes, can I come on your show sometime? Well, heck yeah. It did. Just let me know when you want to stop on by on a show some week, and heck yeah, you can come on the show. That'd be fun. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue into this. Now, guys, I don't know if you're aware of this. All right. President Trump's social media, Truth Social, is banned from Google App Store over content moderation. This article is from PM, whenever that is. Brian goes, I heard the machine radio show sells those butt plugs. Yes, they do. Did I get the video? I didn't even check. Let me actually get in here before I get too far into this article. You said you sent it to me in Messenger, right? If I am not mistaken. Ooh, hey, here we go. Really, dude? You got to say that one? All right, whatever. All right, let me click on that. It's only 56 seconds. Well, that's awesome.
Foundations.
Oh, hold up. All right, I got the vidya. Let me go ahead and put it on. Oh, hey, it's already on there. Okay, cool.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. And they fan the flames of political violence that are a threat to our personal rights, to the pursuit of justice, to the rule of law, to the very soul of this country. They embrace anger. They thrive on chaos. The willingness to engage in political violence is fatal to democracy. More and more talk about violence as an acceptable political tool in this country. There is no place for political violence in America, period. None, ever.
And just so you know, that was the Summer of Peace, brought to you by Black Lives Matter, coming to a city near you. And everything that he was saying there, oh crap, everything that he was saying there was complete and utter hogwash, because that's what the left was promoting everywhere. They didn't have any problem with the so-called peaceful protests, because that's what was in that video, was peaceful, mostly peaceful protesting. And they had no problem with it. And yet he wants to say things like what he just said. Okay. That's why it's a complete farce. By the way, thank you, sir, for sending that to me. I do appreciate that. So getting back to it, from PM, breaking, Truth Social banned from the Google App Store over content moderation. Because more or less is what Google is saying here is, we want you to have more of a hands-on approach whenever it comes to dealing with misinformation, quote unquote. That's what Google wants. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I never understood why. Never understood why. Former President Trump decided to release Truth Social app first on Apple before he did on Android. I don't quite understand that, because there's a difference in dichotomy. Whenever you're talking just the overall beliefs of people. Because, I mean, think about it. You know, a Republican is about freedom. But Democrats is about strict, centralized control. Apple is about strict, centralized control. You don't get anything onto an Apple device if it is not 100% approved by Apple, period. However, when you're talking Android devices, you see, Android is an open source platform made by developers for developers. I can write a program. I can make it into an APK to where you can download it and put it onto your phone. And you can download APKs and install apps on your phone without going through the Google Play Store, because it's uncentralized. A difference in dichotomy. And I'm not saying that everybody who uses Apple devices are, liberals. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying an overall fundamental difference in beliefs. There's good and bad reasons for going on either one of those devices, whether it be Apple or whether it be Android. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, I am sure the majority of the people that are on, if you want to look at a pure, percentage, the majority of Android users, I am sure, are Republicans. The majority of Android users, I am sure, are liberals. But at any rate, it doesn't really matter. My point is this. Why didn't he just make the APK downloadable from the website Truth Social? Now, I'm on Truth Social. And, just like Rumble has a downloadable APK to where you can put it on your Android device regardless of it being acceptable and approved by the Google Play Store. It doesn't matter. You can still put it on your cell phone, your cellular device, your little tablet or what have you. You can still put it there. Why? Because the APK is available through rumble.com. Why didn't President Trump do the same thing? I don't understand that. But Google wants Truth Social to have a more hands-on approach in limiting freedom of speech. Dave puts in here, he goes, there's another video of him talking about absolutely going to jail if you get caught with drugs. And while he's saying all of that, half the video is showing Hunter doing all sorts of drugs. And it looks like Hunter is watching his dad on the video. It's hilarious. Oh, that does sound funny. I'll have to look that one up. I like that. So, yeah. True Social, why he didn't actually just put the APK on his website, I have absolutely no idea. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, so here we go. We're moving on. Because we got started in the last segment with this whole, Mar-a-Lago thing. Now, I'm not going to go through everything of what's going on. I'm sure that by now we all know. All right, I'm sure by now we all know. But this headline from the DC Inquirer. Tea Party Patriots group launches massive lawsuit to remove judge who approved the Mar-a-Lago raid, as they should. If that person overstepped the law, his authority, he actually and very much should be removed from the chair, the bench, what have you. Love pop-ups. And, just because I think this is absolutely funny, absolutely hilarious, we're switching. Why did I put that one there? That article. I have no idea. That article actually wasn't supposed to go there. That's supposed to be a next segment article. It's supposed to be a next segment article. This is what we're actually supposed to be doing in this segment. This headline from the Daily Wire, California asks residents to avoid charging electric vehicles due to the blackout risk days after unveiling new gas car ban. And this gas car ban is actually on the sales of gasoline-powered vehicles by the year, I think, 2035. A complete ban on the sales of gas-powered vehicles in the entire state of California by 2035. Now, that's not to say that gas-powered vehicles are going to be banned in the entire state of California by 2035. That's different. That's not what it's saying, okay? Misconception on that one, but that's not what it actually says. It says sales of gas-powered vehicles. Next headline. And I thought this was absolutely hilarious as well, because it just goes to show you the state of the power grid in California. California asked to keep the AC at 78 and nix electric vehicle charges to spare the power grid. Oh, so now they want us, the masses, to, not live as comfortably as well as they are in order to save the power grid. Because this is what's amazing in some of these places, okay? You have them wanting to, do away with coal, do away with nuclear, do away with natural gas. They want to do this. Holy crap, that's an amazing idea. The machine puts in here, he goes, imagine how much revenue will be headed out of the state. By 2030, we need to put a car lot right on the border. Dude, can you imagine the amount of sales that can be had in border states with California? Could you imagine? Because, that's what they're going to be forcing people to do. Either one, subject themselves to an EV vehicle, which if you live in the city, you don't care. If you live in the city, most of them people aren't driving themselves to work. They're taking government, transportation. They're taking taxis. They're taking the bus. They're taking the train. That's what they're doing. They don't care. Brian puts in here, he goes, charging one electric car equals running 13 refrigerators all day in your house. Wow. That's a holy crap. And that's not even to mention the thing that I find completely this is stupid, okay? There is no reason for you to ever, and I'm not against electric vehicles. I'm not, okay? I'm not against them at all whatsoever. But here's my question, and here's my problem. Why do I got to plug it in? Why do I got to plug my electric car in? Are you curious as to what the heck I'm talking about? Well, it's simple. In my gas drinking vehicle, it has this thing called an alternator. This alternator uses the belt turning to generate electricity to charge the battery, which is being used to start the vehicle and send it down the road. And the Machine Radio Show puts in here exactly where I was going. Wheels should be generators, exactly. Because if you hook these puppies up right, all right, and I know it can be done, I'm an idiot, and I know this could be done. I know enough about vehiculars to get myself in trouble. Ask anybody. But even I know this is possible. I don't know how to do it. I just know it's possible. You can, with this whole wheel moving, that right there generates enough of an electromagnetic field that it could charge the batteries. So why do I need to plug my vehicle in? All I got to do is roll that sucker down the road enough to put enough of a charge in the battery to send it down the road. Now I can understand the whole aspect of basically plugging it in certain times of the year, depending on how weak the battery is, just to keep a charge on it. But but that's like a battery tender. You're not charging the battery. You're maintaining the battery. That's different. The machine puts in and goes, different type of battery though, but the thought is the same. Exactly. The thought's exactly the same. Batteries work the way batteries work, but there's no reason to actually have to charge an electric vehicle whenever you could use the vehicle itself to charge it, to keep it charged. I mean, hello, it's not a hard concept. I mean, it's really not. But anyway, reverting back to this, it's the whole, these two articles about don't plug in your electrical vehicles, and hey, you know what? Don't keep your house as cold as you want it to, even though it's hot as Hades over there. It just goes to show you the condition of the power grid in California. Why do I point that out? Well, it's simple. Okay. You're talking about a state that wants to, cut the coal power plants. They want to cut natural gas. They even want to get rid of nuclear power plants, even though that's clean energy. They still want to get rid of it in favor of all this other kind of crap. I'm not getting into all that other kind of crap, but you know what all that other kind of crap is. So they're wanting to do all that, and they want to increase the population of the state by welcoming in all these illegal aliens to put a bigger burden on the power grid. And they're wanting everybody basically in the very near future to change all of their vehicles to electric vehicles, which is going to put an even bigger burden on the power grid. They're lowering supply. They're raising demand. That's going to make cost and availability, cost skyrocket and availability plummet. That's what's going to happen. Red Dirt puts in here, he goes, I had mentioned to someone the other day how many of our everyday small town mechanics would this put out of business, also electric vehicles. Changing, the vehicles to, electric vehicles. Yeah, I mean, dude, you're absolutely right. Because how many of them could afford to go to the schooling required to maintenance them? Exactly. And that's the thing now, dude. It's like, you think about how vehicles were just, 30, 40 years ago. You only had to be a mechanic. That's it. I feel for mechanics nowadays as it is anyway, because of how vehicles are. How electronics and computers and everything. I mean, you can change everything with a few chips in your vehicle. I mean, you have to have, a degree in computers in order to work on a lot of cars as it is anyway. I mean, it's not as simple as just mechanics. You're talking computer knowledge too. I feel for them as it is. I was like, I'm just being honest. I really do, And here's the thing, and this is one of my points in bringing up what is going on in California, okay? What they are doing with switching our gas-powered vehicles to electric vehicles, because here's the thing. The components necessary for doing the batteries and stuff like that, none of that is mined and manufactured here in America. But it's mined and manufactured in other places. Africa, lithium-ion batteries, that type of stuff. It's mined. It's made in China. All these other kind of things, So, is what it's doing, because there is a moratorium on, mining for any of this stuff here in the States. Even though we have plenty, we have more than what Africa has. We have more than what's available in China, but we can't mine it because environment. It's bad for the environment to mine this, but it's okay to do it in Africa, and it's okay to do it in China. So wait a second. What are you? Are you anti-mining, or are you anti-capitalism? Are you anti-earth, or are you anti-people? Well, they're obviously not anti-mining, because it's okay to mine it in Africa. It's okay to mine it over in China. So they're anti-capitalists. They're not anti-environment, because, again, they can mine it with all the hazards that lithium-ion mining, has. It's okay to do it over there instead of doing it over here, where we have much more safeguards in place to do it in a more environmentally friendly, method. So they're anti-people. So the left, very clearly, is anti-earth, anti-environment, and anti-capitalist. That's what they are. Their actions speak far clearly than their freaking words. I need to catch up here a little bit. Brian puts in here, he goes, they used to be called shade tree mechanics. Back then, you didn't have to master your trade. You just had to be a jack of all trades. Yeah. Very true. Red Dirt puts in here, he goes, yes, I know someone with a newer Ford pickup. He can't even change his own fluid because of computerized no way Jose. Yeah, Brian continues, puts in there, he goes, not in my backyard, brother. Yeah, and that's the mindset of a lot of people, with the whole not in my backyard. It's like they want the power plants, they just don't want to have to see the power plant out their own backyard. But I mean, that's just the thing, though. I mean, that's part of it. Yeah, but I mean, even still, it's not like you're going to have a mine right in your own backyard is going to be, across. I mean, like, people don't realize just how big this country is until you start driving it. I've heard from people over in Europe that are like, how can you go your entire life without having a passport? But it's like, dude, the entire continent of Europe can fit within the borders of the United States of America. When you take that into consideration, it's not a surprise. And until they travel the country, it's like, oh, now I get it. Red Dirt continues to put in here. He goes, I brought up to my church group last Sunday what you said about Africa. My pastor loves to talk about the same things you do. I told him to listen to your podcast. Well, awesome. I appreciate that. Brian puts in here. He goes, yeah, they don't have OSHA, watching over everybody's back. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing too. What do you have in China? Well, Samsung phones. I've got a Samsung phone. Apple phones. I don't have an Apple, but I got a Samsung phone. Well, they have child labor laws here. They don't have child labor laws in China. They have, OSHA here. Occupational Safety and Hazard something or another, whatever that stands for. That means you got to have a safe work environment, okay? That there are standards that have to be maintained for the safety of the employee. China doesn't have an OSHA. They also have, minimum wage laws. They don't have that type of stuff in China, in Africa. They don't have it. So when you are promoting overseas things, just be mindful. You're promoting child labor, slave labor, and work practices that just aren't safe or environmental. That's what you're promoting. Now, mind you, I'm no better. I have a lot of things in this house that I have bought over the years that are not made in America, as I'm sure most of us have. Take a look at your house. Where did this come from? Oh, made in Taiwan. Oh, made in China. Made in Korea. Made in, made in Turkey. Made here, made there, made everywhere. How many things in your house do you actually have that's made in America? I'm going to tell you something, not a whole heck of a lot. Why? Because we have outsourced manufacturing in this nation. But what we have are companies that will put things together. We still have assembled in America parts. We don't necessarily have made in America parts. We have some call centers here, but for the most part, all that's done in India. We have customer service, but they're shutting down even a lot of customer service places here in the States in favor of going overseas whenever it comes to, I'm having an issue. Dial the 1-800 number. Who am I getting? Somebody in India. That's what you're getting. We are a consumer-based country nowadays. And it shows. Brian puts in here, he continues with China has the slave labor camps. Yeah, they do. But there's a reason why I bring this up. There's a reason why I consider all this crap important. Because the more we outsource our labor, our energy, our manufacturing to other countries, that makes us subservient to them. That puts us at another country's it puts them at their bidding. It's really bad for the security of our nation to have everything outsourced, especially our energy. Don't believe me? Here's this article from Markets Insider. Russia halts natural gas flows via Nord Stream 1 pipeline, intensifying the pressure in Europe in its energy crisis. And then there's this headline from the Daily Wire. Trump was right. World leaders were wrong. Russia just cut off Germany's fuel supply. Who's laughing now? When you have something as important as energy, whether it be in the form of fuel to power our gas vehicles or the lithium that will be in the batteries and the manufacture of the batteries done in China, when and if we ever actually convert to an all-electric vehicle system, which isn't going to work, but okay. You make it to where, oh, we have to support China, or else we lose energy. There was a time in this country that we were energy independent, not that long ago. We didn't have to go to OPEC, go to Russia and say, Master, please, could you lower the price of fuel because you're really making me look bad? Trump didn't have to do that. Trump didn't have to do that at all. But Biden has. Biden's had to go overseas and beg. Please lower your prices. You're making me look horrible. Why is that? Because we are the subjects of OPEC, the Middle East, and China. That's what your government has done for you. More when we come back.
New developments surrounding the
Have you ever been so full of it your eyes are brown? Have you ever sat on the toilet but nothing comes out? Is a box of frosted shredded wheat just not doing the trick? Well, have I got the ultimate solution for you. Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse. See, Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse is that particular product that will break through the sphincter like the Kool-Aid Man through a brick wall. Oh yeah! No more irregularity, no more cramping, just good old nice flow. That's right. Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse. Please use responsibly and use at home. this is a fast-acting product now available in Tropical Punch. Tide Pod brand colon cleanse. Guys, I tell you what, this stuff is amazing. I don't recommend using it whenever you're out on the road or whenever you are out and about running errands because it'll hit you. It'll hit you hard. It's good stuff. I love my ridiculous commercials. They really are fun for me. So we're going to get into this. All right. So what you heard, the improv little audio bit that was starting to play while I was, during that little musical break right there for me to pull up articles, is a video from Fox News on YouTube's. I'm not going to play that. It's like 7 minutes long. Holy crap. I'm not going to play it. But I do recommend checking it out. So if you head on over to thehohoshow.com, you can just click on that newsfeed tab and you'll see my magazine on Flipboard. And there is all the articles in there. I will show you what, oh wait, nope, that was the wrong button. What that looks like. There it is right here. Nope, that's not it. Where'd it go? There it is, right there. McEnany, this is a stunning development in the Hunter Biden probe. And that's what that's talking about, is that right there. So moving on, that's what that is. Moving on, 10 brand new Hunter Biden scandals the Nets are censoring. Now, I've heard, I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't really gone through this article because, unlike people on the left, and I'm sure that, we're the same on this. We've heard a lot of this stuff before. This isn't our first rodeo. We know a lot of the developments that's been going on as it's been going on because we stay plugged in. We stay informed. I'm sure that you do. So it's no surprise to hear some of the scandals that are coming out based off of this laptop of Hunter Biden's that, the FBI is refusing to investigate. Information that points to the pay for play that was going on by Hunter selling access to his father, Joe, during the Obama administration. Now, for clarity, let me tell you something. That's called bribery. Pay for play? Because it has been confirmed that whole 10% to the big guy, Hunter Biden, in those emails were talking about a 10% cut in the business dealings of Hunter Biden going to Joe Biden. It has been confirmed that's what was going on. That's who the big guy was. It was Joe Biden. This isn't in contention. This has been confirmed. Hiller. Okay. We got that clear? Okay. I'm glad that we do. We see what's going on. It's obvious. So we know that and a lot of the times whenever I talk about stories like this, and again, I haven't gone into it. I will, but I haven't right now because it doesn't matter because that's not my point. The scandals aren't my point. The point is the scandals are out there. We know the scandals are there. And like I was saying, it's not the scandals. I haven't read it because, in all honesty, a lot of these stories aren't talking about new information, just kind of reiterating on the stuff that if you pay attention, you already know. Things that have more or less been confirmed or reconfirmed of things that we've already known, like the laptop, the big guy, the 10% dealings, the pointing out, the drawing the lines to clearly say that, yes, this is pay for play of a foreign nation. This is bribery of other people that is clearly an impeachable offense. Says so the Constitution. Not me. The Constitution says it. Impeachable offense. Bribery is an impeachable offense. Moving on. This headline from CNN Politics: John Dean predicts how the Department of Justice will respond to Trump requests. And I believe they're talking about the request for a special master. What? And of course, this is one of them things that is not even really going to give me much of the freaking article. I don't know why they do that. CNN Politics. They want you to do other things. They want you to subscribe to see their news articles. Why? Because their stuff sucks and nobody's going to watch it, unless they do that. Anyway, moving on. Politico headline: Politico playbook. Trump likely obstructed classified records probe, the Department of Justice says. I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that President Trump was not even present at his house when this raid happened. How can he say he obstructed the probe into his classified records? But here's my thing, and this is why I bring this up. This is the only reason why I bring this up, okay? Do you remember Hillary Clinton? The emails? I pointed out either last week or the week before last that, she had a private server for her emails, okay? She had classified information that was sent to said private email, private server, which was confirmed that it was hacked by foreign officials. We know this. This isn't a question. So here they're going to go after and berate Trump over his handling of classified information, but yet overlook completely and entirely what Hillary Clinton did. But wait, there's more. It gets worse. The entire administration was sending her emails, and that is a mishandling of classified documents. That means that Obama, Biden, and all of these other people that were in the administration that sent her classified information to a private server, not a Hillary Clinton at government.org. It was Hillary Clinton at clinton.com. That's illegal. So not only did Hillary Clinton break the law of the mishandling of classified documents, so did everybody who sent her that email, because they are held accountable too. They are responsible for that classified document just the same as Hillary Clinton is. But nothing is being done to any of them. Nothing's being done. None of this is. I have not heard any of this crap being talked about on mainstream media ever. And yet, from Fox News, this headline of something that the Washington Post editor said, he denies any Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton double standard. What? How can you deny a double standard when you are against Orange Man bad so much that you're like, I don't care what the investigation says, punish him, throw him in jail, impeach him over what? Over nothing. But yet you have in Hillary Clinton actually did the thing that you are accusing Trump of doing with the mishandling of classified information. You didn't want anything to happen to Hillary Clinton. That was okay. Oh, she didn't intend to do anything wrong. There was no evidence of intent. Really? She destroyed hard drives. She cut them up. She took a hammer, bleach bit, wiped servers clean, destroyed government property, and taking a hammer to a BlackBerry device. How is that not showing intent? I have no idea. And you have with, the impeach Trump over the quid pro quo, with which one quid pro quo is how every single business dealing is done. Don't believe me? Have you ever shopped on Amazon? Have you ever gone to a brick and mortar store and bought something? Quid pro quo literally means this for that, tit for tat. You give something, you get something in return. I bought this bottle of juice for my vape. Guess what? I got a bottle of juice. I gave him some pieces of paper, cotton paper with the pictures of the dead president on it, and I got this. That's a quid pro quo. That was a this for that. That's what quid pro quo is. That's how business is done. That's how you get everything. But that aside, because obviously, the left is too stupid to understand quid pro quo. But you have President Biden, then former Vice President Joe Biden, whom bragged on national TV, recorded about quid pro quoing Ukraine. Hey, you know what? You have a prosecutor that's going after a company that employs my son Hunter. If you want this money, then you're going to terminate his employment. And you're going to stop investigating Burisma, the company that my son works for. And he bragged. I told him that with the full weight of the White House supporting me. And wouldn't you believe it? The son of a bitch fired him. Those ain't my words. Those are his. So here you have then President or former Vice President, now President Biden, bragging on national TV, quid pro quoing this for that. Was that an abuse of power? Oh, but it doesn't matter because it was Joe. It was a Democrat Party that did it. We're okay with that. But nothing wrong in what President Trump did, former President Trump. There's nothing wrong with that. Or I'm sorry, they said that there's everything wrong with that. What did he say that was so bad? He's like, hey, look, you know what? Here we have this money that we're giving you, and that's all fine and dandy. But you know what? I got to be honest with you. Mr. Dude over in Ukraine. There's been some bad things going on in your country. There's been a lot of, bad deals that's going on, a lot of corruption that's happened, and the mainstream media, the Department of Justice, doesn't really seem to be interested in coming to the truth and actually bringing to justice those whom are breaking the law and doing things that they shouldn't be doing. You know what? It would be really nice if you all took care of that, because we don't seem to be interested in doing it. You're going to get the money. He got the money. But yet, it would be nice, if you can help a brother out, that'd be cool. I'd be grateful. Here's the money. You're getting it regardless. But where our country is failing, if you're going to claim that you want to get rid of the corruption, help me help you in getting rid of the corruption. Was that a quid pro quo? Or was that our Department of Justice, our FBI, is politically motivated and aren't after seeking truth? I think the latter is true. They're not actually seeking truth. It is a stunt to humiliate a former president, to try to smear his name in such a way that he can't run for president in 2024. They're terrified of him. They're absolutely terrified of him. Now, guys, I've got a few more things in here. I really do. And I'm still looking for that one thing about that one thing. I'm not seeing it. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. One of the things that they've been saying time and time again about this whole, Mar-a-Lago thing, that he had documents that he wasn't supposed to have. Okay. And one of the things that the Trump administration, his lawyers and representatives, one of the things they've been saying is that, dude, we may have had stuff that used to be marked classified, but there was, that stuff was made declassified. And as I said before, and this is one of the things that came out pretty early, was he was in contact with like the records people, the ones that were in charge of that. And they were like, they didn't show any concern about the stuff that he had. They were like, hey, you might want to lock this up though. That might be a good idea for you to do. They weren't going, hey, you ain't supposed to have that. They were going, hey, why don't you put this in a safe behind lock and key? And if these were things that he wasn't supposed to have, you would think that they would have said, you're not supposed to have that, instead of going, ooh, why don't you lock this up and then we'll come back and then we'll discover it and prosecute you for it later. Because, there's a thing, there's a word for that. There's a word for that whenever law enforcement does something like that. It's called entrapment. Is that what was going on? I don't know. But as I've said before, and I'll say it again, and we're going to end it here. I don't care about the narrative. I don't care what former President Trump did whenever it comes to the mishandling of classified information. I don't care. Because until the Department of Justice and the FBI investigate Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Barack Hussein Obama, and Hillary Clinton, you are not showing me anything that has to do with justice. What happened to justice? You don't have it. How can you? When you have privilege going on in a nation where justice is supposed to be blind, that we are all supposed to be equal, we don't have that. Because what we have is privileged people in this nation. And no, I'm not talking about white privilege. I'm talking about political privilege. That's the only kind of privilege I see in this country. You have one set of rules for the masses, and you have another completely different set of rules for the political class. And then you have this bickering going on between the left and the right, the Democrats and Republicans. You have that going on. We see it in full view. In big screen IMAX 3D, that's what we're seeing. Time and time again, that's what we see. One set of rules for Republicans, a completely different set of rules for Democrats, and it doesn't matter what you do as long as you are of the side of the left. And that even includes people like Liz Cheney and Mitt Romney, because these people are Republican in name only. They're not true conservatives. They're not Republicans. They don't have our interests in mind. They only have their own. Justice in this country is dead. Because you have the prosecution of one person, one party that has been put at higher regard than justice and truth. The FBI is supposed to be about truth. That's what their investigations are supposed to bring up and uncover. It's not to bring up dirt against a political opponent. But that's what's been going on for quite some time. That's it. The politicizing of these various departments for political gain. That's what you have. Is that justice? No, justice is dead. And there will come a time whenever we have had enough. And that time's coming. We, the people, are starting to get pretty ticked off about this crap. Now, look, I don't want a war, but we need revolution. We need to go back to what this nation, the principles that it was founded upon. We need to get back to that. This is supposed to be a government of the people, by the people, for the people. Do you think Joe Biden cares about you? No. Because we are being run, this entire country from top to bottom, by two privately owned businesses. Think about this. You go to Walmart, you buy something, or you see something. Something bothers you of what they're doing in Walmart. You know, well, let's just use this one, okay? You go to Walmart and you want to buy something, and holy crap, there's not any cashiers there. You know, you got to do it yourself. So you lodge a complaint. You know, you tell somebody, you tell, you know, the whoever is there. You know, it's like, hey, cart boy, come here, let me talk to you. You need to come up here and you need to ring my stuff out. You work for me. You know, me purchasing these products is what gives you a job. So you do what I tell you to do because I keep you in business. Is that cart boy going to listen to you? No. Why? You're not his boss. I know he's dead, but you're not Sam Walton. Sam Walton, Walmart is his boss, not you. You are nothing to them. You're barely a person to them. It's no different in politics. The DNC, the RNC, these are not government entities. They are private businesses that don't care about you. They only care about them. It's their interests, not yours. They don't care what you want. They're going to get theirs regardless. There's all kinds of people out there that are stupid enough to give them their money. And then they tax you out of yours. They give it to other people that are going to do nothing more than vote for more handouts. They have the power to print money. They don't care. They're not spending their money. They're spending yours. They don't represent your interests. They represent their own interests. Why don't we understand this as people? Are we really that stupid? I mean, not you. Obviously, you guys know. Are we really that dumb? I mean, do you realize how many people would have to stop shopping at Walmart for your voice to be noticed? For them to even care? I mean, think about it. How many people have left California? Quite a bit. Because their policies suck. And the businesses and the people that do stay, they got to be bribed to stay. Oh, we're not going to tax you that much. We're going to give you tax breaks and tax cuts so you'll stay. Oh, okay. And they punished the middle class for this. And then you have a mass exodus out of the state. They're losing revenue. Does it matter? No. Illinois, same thing's going on here. They don't care. Because even if they lose enough people, because the Democrats are in power in Washington, Florida is going to pay for the failed policies in Illinois. Texas is going to pay for the failed policies that's going on in California. That's how the Democrats do it. Each state is not responsible for the failed policies of that state. Everybody else is. Florida is being punished for the actions of California. There's something inherently wrong and evil about that. Because nobody should be on the hook for somebody else's failed decisions, failed policies. Florida should not be condemned for the things going on in New York. Texas should not be condemned for the things that's going on in California. Missouri should not be punished for the stupidity of the things going on in Illinois, nor Indiana be punished, or wherever we're going, the people that exodus out of Illinois. But yet that's what's happening. The states that are fiscally responsible and in policies have things that are good. I mean, you don't have state taxes in Florida. Why? Because they pay for their policies. They don't institute policies that they can't pay for. They're fiscally responsible. Why can't New York be fiscally responsible and quit forcing Florida to pay for their policies? And the same thing goes across the board. It ain't right. It ain't right. You ain't going to tell me and convince me that it is. Well, everybody, I appreciate y'all stopping by. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. I really do. Feel free to head on over to thehohoshow.com. Check out, the stuff that's going on over there. Check out the magazine on Flipboard. This way you guys can fact check me on anything that I say. I invite you to do that. I really do. Every single one of them for every show that I've done. And there's like, oh, good grief. How many magazines have I made? I don't even know. Over 100 magazines is over there in Flipboard. I've been doing it like this for a while. Because I invite you to fact check me. If I'm wrong about something, I want to know it. Because I don't want to be, putting bad information out there. I'm not saying that I've never been wrong. I have been. And I try to correct myself on that stuff. I try to let you guys know when I've made a mistake and I've screwed up. I definitely do. Now, I don't want to lead people astray. That is not what this show is about. It is about truth. I'm not going to tell you that I'm unbiased, politically unbiased. I'm not. Of course I'm not. I'm a constitutional conservative with with a libertarian leanings. Obviously, I'm biased. But I'm not biased to the point to where I'm going to lie to you about what's going on, about policies, and about what I believe. Because water's wet, fire burns, and I don't have to lie to you for that to be apparent. Thank you all for stopping by. Have a great one. Until next time. This has been The Ho-Ho Show. For more information, you can head to thehohoshow.com. And for the merchandise store, you can head on over to stinkpickle.com. That is stinkpickle.com. Until next time.